Good evening. We welcome you to our regular City Council meeting. We'll call our meeting to order. We note that we have a quorum present. We have 6 members of the council present. Most likely we will get the 7th one in just a few minutes. With that, we'll begin with our traditional video. And I believe staff is ready for that to queue up.
Firefighting is not an easy job. These guys work very, very hard. When they're called to a fire scene, their cardio needs to be up. They need to be in top physical condition so they can handle all the stresses of the job and handle that heavy, heavy physical load that they've got for that next little bit while they're fighting that fire. Hi everybody, this is Bob Fitzgerald. I'm the training division chief for the West Valley City Fire Department. We are just finishing up week 1 of an 8-week recruit camp for new hires. In this camp, we have 4 individuals from West Valley City, 4 from South Jordan, and 1 from Murray Fire Department. It's been a grueling week for the candidates. They've been introduced to a lot of new skills. For many of them, it's the very first time they've put their hands on hose or donned personal protective equipment. So it's been an interesting ride and a little bit fun for at least us, the instructors, and it's been a lot of stress for the candidates. Recruit camps are interesting because you take these raw individuals, some who have had a little bit of experience and some who have had 0 experience, and we're able to teach them the basic fundamentals. We put an enormous amount of stress on them, physically, mentally, and even emotionally, to push them to the limits so that we know what they're capable of, but more importantly, so that they know what they're capable of.
My name's Chase Judd. I am in my first week of the West Valley City Fire Academy. Really enjoy helping people. I like the challenge. I want to push myself. It's been a lot of good work. Everybody's putting a lot of good effort. We're learning a lot. The instructors have been great. This is really physical challenging. I've never done anything quite like this before. I think we got this in the bag. I think all of us do. There's a lot of good people here. They're pushing us pretty physically hard. We have to do a lot of push-ups, a lot of running, keeping up, encouraging each other.
My name's Scott Byrne. I'm an engineer on 71A shift, been with West Valley for 16 years, and we're going to make sure that they understand what the job is, what it entails, the physical activities that go along with it, and make sure they understand the hoses, the hose lays, all the equipment that we use, all the equipment that we carry, as many potential scenarios that they might encounter in real life, and we're going to make sure that they are as prepared as possible when the time comes.
First day that we have these recruits with us, one of the things that we do is introduce them to their personal protective equipment, which is all their fire coats, their helmets, their gloves, their bunker pants. The other thing that we introduce them to is their self-contained breathing apparatus. This is an air pack, compressed air that sits on their back in a tank. They hook into a regular, much like scuba gear, but it's built for a little bit different purpose. It's a little more rugged, and it allows us to go into what we call an immediately dangerous to life and health environment. One of the things that we do that day to stress them, once we get them comfortable with putting it on and taking it off and breathing the air, is we put them through a couple of exercises that really stress them out. We'll get them lost and disoriented. We'll put them on air. We'll tangle them up with rope or cord, and so that they have to fight through that. We will actually turn their air off in certain circumstances to see if they have the presence of mind to work through the procedures that we've taught them to check those things out and get their air back on and functioning so that they can breathe. One of the things we don't want them to do is to pull off the regulator, which clips in and provides the air, or to pull their mask away from their face, because that will expose them to that atmosphere that can take their life in just a second. It's done for a number of reasons. We want to see if they're claustrophobic. We want to see if they can handle that pressure and logically think through things to make themselves safe and get themselves to a point where they can be rescued. We are, right now we're wrapping up week 1 of our academy. It'll be going for 8 weeks. When these guys came in, they were really pretty green. They've come a long way in this first week. But that doesn't mean by any stretch of the imagination that they are ready to go sit in a fire station and respond to calls. We are working through that so that we can produce at the end of the 8 weeks a firefighter that when they walk into the station, they don't have that deer in the headlights look, but they know exactly what their job is, they know their purpose, they know where they fit, and they know how to do the things that we need them to do.
Very good. Thank you. Always informative. Next on our agenda is our minutes of September 15th. Motion on the minutes.
Move for approval of those minutes, Mayor.
Second.
Okay. Properly before us, then without objection, the minutes will be approved. Hearing no objection, it's unanimous. Next, we have our comment period. And so we'll turn to our city recorder. Do we have anyone online to comment tonight?
We do have one person, sir, Jim Visock. Jim,
Thank
you should
you.
go be able to unmute.
As always, Mayor, I'm here. I'm watching you guys. Hey, neighbors in my neighborhood are really starting to notice the almost finished progress of 41. Lots of exciting people be able to start driving on that road again. It's moving along. And I understand you sent out a letter to people. I didn't get one, but I had a couple of people tell me they got a letter from Mayor Bigelow. And then the other thing, a lot of people are commenting on the 3,556, the new townhomes, I believe, that are being built back there, and all the trees coming down. And of course, they didn't know what was going on. And, so it's good to know and be able to inform them, because they're like, why are they tearing out all these trees? And so that's all I have. Stay safe, stay strong.
Thank you very much. That completes, I guess, our public comments. No one else online.
No, sir.
All right, then to our assistant city manager who's sitting in tonight for Wayne Pyle. Any comments?
No, sir, not this evening. Thank you.
Thank you. City council members, any comments? Boy, everyone's happy and easy going this week. With that then, we do have 2 action items on our agenda that we need to take care of as far as city business. There are 2 resolutions. We'll begin with Resolution 20-105. This is to authorize the city to execute an amendment to a service agreement with Community Education Partnership of West Valley City. I didn't check beforehand, but I just, for some reason, feel like maybe I'll turn to Councilmember Bueller and say, Councilman Bueller, because of your special relationship with this group, maybe you can just talk about it for us, if that's okay.
Sure.
Do you mind?
Sure, Mayor, thank you. So the Community Education Partnership has been providing the after-school programs in West Valley City exclusively to West Valley City schools and students for, I think, 20 years. And those programs have been provided almost exclusively with federal funds administered through the federal and state departments of education. That funding source has dried up. We have basically rethought and redeveloped the Community Education Partnership. It will continue to provide the after-school programs at a much reduced cost through a different organizational plan and requirements for reporting and so forth, which were heavy and onerous when we were reporting to the federal government. I have been involved with the CEP probably for 10 years, and during that time, we've been part of watching the evolution of this. The city has, from the inception, committed $35,000 a year to the program. That commitment under the new program will be increased to $90,000, but it would be the only funding, and we are looking at a 5-year commitment for those funds from 21 through 25. So with that, I guess I'll go ahead and make a motion and move for approval of resolution 20-105.
Second?
Properly before us. Any further comments? Hearing none, we will turn to our city recorder for the roll call vote.
Councilman Fitzie Umanu.
Aye.
Councilwoman Lang.
Yes.
Councilman Bueller.
Aye.
Councilman Hune.
Aye.
Councilman Christensen.
Yes.
Councilman Nordfelt.
Yes.
And Mayor Bigelow.
Aye.
Motion passes unanimously.
Thank you. Next, we have resolution 20-149 to approve the purchase of 2 front-end loaders from Wheeler Machinery Company. This is for $342,605. And these are replacing ones that we currently have. These are relatively good terms. We have a 1-year contract, and usually this one essentially nets out in cost. So it's good to keep these types of programs going and keep good equipment for our Public Works Department to get done the things that need to be done. These funds come from our Class C road funds, so does not have a significant impact on our general funds that we are watching closely right now with the economic downturn. That is the introduction to this item to the council.
Mayor, I have a question, either
Yes.
for Paul or for Jim. So why do we have to have a budget opening when we're actually going to receive more money back than we're going to spend?
Mr. Isaac, is that you or who?
Go ahead, Jim. Can you speak to that?
Yes, I can. Sorry about that. My unmute button was not there. So budget opening on the C Roads projects, when we're going to, and if you'll remind me, Ms. Lang, that was, why are we getting more money than we're actually spending? Or I'm sorry.
No, so why are we having a budget opening? We're spending $342,000 plus some change, but when we turn those machines back in, they're going to pay us back $347,000. So we're going to get more money than we're spending. Does that money we're receiving go back in the exact same fund? And
Actually,
if not, why?
Yeah, is we treat things, when we buy capital equipment, it's expensed all up front. So it's not like your typical business. So we have to have the actual expenditure for the cost of the equipment, regardless of what the amount is that we get for it when we turn it back in. So we basically treat it on a cash basis. It's how much did we get for the sale and how much are we buying for the new equipment, not the net amount.
So is the 347 going to go back into the Class C roads fund?
Essentially, yes, it will go back in to offset the cost of the equipment that we're purchasing. So that net amount is really the final fiscal impact, but we expense the total cost of the equipment every time we buy new equipment. So there's 2 parts. There's revenue coming in, and then there's the total cost of the equipment when it is purchased.
Okay, thank you. If there's no other questions, then I move to approve Resolution 20-149.
Second.
Properly before us. Any further comments? Hearing none, to our city recorder for the vote.
Councilman Nordfelt.
Yes.
Councilman Christensen.
Yes.
Councilman Hune,
Aye.
Councilman Bueller,
Aye.
Councilwoman Lang,
Yes.
Councilman Fitzie Umanu,
Aye.
and Mayor Bigelow.
Aye.
Motion passes unanimously.
There's no need for a closed session, so that completes our work. Any final comments from anyone on the council? Hope everyone and their families are staying healthy and well and enjoying the unique environment in which we're living right now with pandemic. And certainly those who like Councilmember Nordfeld, who works with the schools and that, why that's certainly an interesting environment right now. So with that then,
Mayor, we may just wanted to note that next week is a 5th Tuesday, so we won't have another meeting.
that's right. So it will be 2 weeks before we have our next meeting. And thank you for that reminder. Hearing nothing else then,
Motion to adjourn.
motion to adjourn. Without opposition, we will stand adjourned. Hearing no opposition, it was unanimous and we are adjourned. Have a safe week.
Thank you.